Okay, so Adobe InDesign, this you use to create flyers, brochures, magazines, reports, um, like we've been seeing. I imagine most of those are done in InDesign, not all of them. Some are Word for sure. Okay, so let's create a new document. So once you open it, you can either go File, New, or on that main page, Create New. We're going to choose a print document, depending on what you're doing. You can select the appropriate one. Let's stick with letter. I just want to show you over here, we're going to start with one page, but if you know you're going to have a bunch of pages, you can, select the pages and really set it up quite in depth from the get-go. But let's just click create on those defaults. Okay, and now same with Illustrator and Photoshop. You have the panels over here, and if you go to Window and Workspace, I wanted to show you, there's like, depending on what you're doing, they have these defaults set up. So if you click on it, it'll give you the palettes or the panels that are typically done with that kind of work, let's say. So you can use their defaults, or you can create your own. Like if you know, like you always like to have properties and your layers, and that this is true for Illustrator and Photoshop as well. You can create your own. So you just go to Windows, Workspace, and then New, and then whatever you have open and the locations of it, you can title and save. So then every time you open Illustrator, it looks like how you want it to look, which is nice little thing. So I just wanted to show you that, and that's true for Illustrator and Photoshop as well. Okay, so first we're going to use the type tool. So go ahead and click it, and we're going to create a box. And with InDesign, you just start typing into your type tool and into your box, and that's how you add text. But you can also, like when you're if you're making a template or you're just starting something and you don't have text yet, you can right click, and then you go to fill with placeholder text, and so then it fills it up. So it's gonna look like what it will look like at some point when you like copy and paste. And with InDesign and these kind of reports, you're gonna be working on a team. So like people will be doing it maybe in Google Docs or Word, and then you're gonna be, inserting at a later time. So this is great to keep the visual of like what you're gonna be doing, but you don't have the text yet, it's fine. Okay, next let's add an image frame. So if you go over here to the rectangle frame and just go ahead and draw a rectangle. Let's go to Google real quick and get a screenshot of, I like to do Hunter's College map. So I'm just going to do a quick screenshot here of Google Map. And go back and, oops, paste into. So we want to paste into that rectangular box. Okay. And you don't have to go to Google, you can just do any screenshot. So one thing with InDesign is whenever you paste something, it's going to look like this, and it's going to be super fuzzy. And that's normal. So they do that to minimize the processing. But if you go to View and Overview Print, or Preview, it'll give you the actual quality of the image. But you typically leave that off, and you switch it back on and off when you need to look at how it's going to print. But generally, if you're just working, you keep it fuzzy. to save on your processing speeds. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so next I'm gonna create some text frame columns. So we go here and we go to text frame options. In general, you have columns, and right now I usually use fixed numbers, but there's lots of options, and feel free to play. Once you know like where to find things, you can play with the settings. But you can do 2 columns. You can always preview, which is great, so you can see what's going on, and you can change, the gutter between. So you right-click on the text box and text frame options, which is Control B too. Yep. I feel like I skipped something. Maybe not. Okay, I'll keep going. Maybe my pages are out of order. They are out of order. Okay, I'm going to do a text wrap, which is important, super important. So we're gonna do a text wrap on this object here under Window. We got text wrap, and I think I just turned it off. Where are you hiding? Let me toggle it so I can see. It's on my other monitor. It's hiding over here. Come back. Okay, there you go. Okay, so there's a couple different options on how, basically you want the text to filter around an object. So if I like overlap this object and the text, and I click this text wrap, the text, modifies around the object, and you can see there's like a double line. So anything within that area will not get text. And so if I expand this, it'll just go around it. Okay. And so that's that. And you can do it like just above and below, or just above the object. There's a couple different options. Slow. Absolutely. Yeah, you want the object, so the object that you want the text to go around, you have to have that selected. And then you can just select text wrap, which is, to get that box up, it's Windows and then text wrap. Are you on top of the text? And you selected like this second one. So the first one is no, there's none, so it won't do anything. Like here, and then if you select the second one, you should get the text to go around it. Anybody else having trouble? Any successes? Do you want to share your screen? Oh, you're like double clicked inside the image. So if you click like outside of the letter, the page itself, like double click over there just to clear, or press escape a couple times. Okay, now just press the image once. Yeah, and now give it a shot. Is it doing anything? So yeah, so the text is no longer behind the image, and that's essentially what it's going to do. Now, if you increase, so right below where on the text wrap, undo that. Control Z a couple times. If you, yep, go ahead. No, it is doing what you want it to be doing. It's so if you get out of there, so if you increase so right below where you clicked on text wrap, you have those four like toggles up and down. If you click them up, it'll give you like a gutter around your box. Just make sure your box is selected, your image box. And then, you see now it's giving a gutter, so like but it is working. It just was really close, so it didn't seem like it was. Yep. But that leads to a good point. Let me share my screen. Illustrator. Okay. No, wrong screen. Not Illustrator. InDesign. Okay, so as in Rachel's image, so if you double click on your image, you can see this brown box. That's the actual size of the image. So we made this rectangle first. So we placed the image inside this rectangle, and they weren't the same proportions or dimensions. So it just it cropped it basically, but your whole image is still there. So you can like move it around. It's still there. So there's a couple ways to make it fix, like to get it to fit inside. So I'm just going to double click out of it so I'm not with that brown box anymore. So if you click it once and you right click, and there's this fitting options. So, yep. Oh, thank you. I am showing something. Oh man. Okay, yeah. I shall share again. Design. Thank you. Okay, so if you double click in, you see it now? Good, thanks. So if you double click in your image, you can see this brown box is the actual like bounding box of the image that you did your screen capture from. And so it's bigger than the rectangle that we had created and placed this inside of. So if we want to get it to fit, I'm going to double click outside of it to get out of this thing. So you click once on your image, you right click, and then fitting. And there's a couple of different options. So fit content proportionally, I use all the time. So it takes your image, and you've created the box. Like you want it to be this size, so you're going to fit that image proportionally to the frame. So you fit content proportionally. So then you see that it's proportional, it fits inside there. However, like if I want to create a stroke or something on this box, I want the box to fit the content, so I can go fit content, fitting, and then fit the frame to the content, and that'll just basically crop it. So you can play with those. Typically I use the proportionally one first, and then I'll fit it second with the just to the frame or to the content. Yeah, so that's that. If you right click and do text frame options, This gives you some things that, I'm sorry, not text frame options. I want it to be in the object. What am I looking for? Effects. So you can have different things going on. Use this sparingly. I'm just showing you, but don't go crazy. So you can create like a drop shadow for your object. You can do a variety of things. So if you turn your preview on, it'll bring this effects dialog box up. You can do things. Don't go crazy. But you can do lots of, like things. But simple is good. So I just want to show you that you can do these things. But, be warned, don't use them too often. All right. I'm going to cancel that. And then in terms of stroke, so lots of times you'll want to put a border around different objects, different graphs, and in InDesign you have like a whole little thing for stroke. So you can select the type, there's different ones that you can use, and then the weight, and so that's how you'll get it to show. Okay, and you change the color. Okay, that's pretty basic. Okay, I got off on my list, so I'm just going to check that I get through everything. It's window and then stroke. Yeah, and if you keep this control bar open, you can do it up here too. Okay, now I'm going to make another text box, and remember Control 0 will zoom you out to the page, it's just handy. Okay, so if you come up to your first text box and make it smaller than the text you have, you get this little red plus button, and that means like there's overflowing text. There's more text than is displaying, and that's just like a help, I need help, kind of thing. Oops. Let me show you this. It's over here. Let me get bigger window. Zoom in. Okay. And so you have this new text box down here, just empty, hanging out. So what you can do is you click that red box, and it gives you this little text thing to know that like you're transferring or you're extending that text box to this one. So then whenever you're writing in here and it's gonna overflow, it'll overflow into your next text box. So it'll continue. And you can do that over pages, through your whole report, which is, well, you need it. You need to know that one. Okay, so that's text overflow. We did columns. Okay. Next I want to show you creating a master page. So if you have pages open, if you don't have pages in your panels, you can go to Window and Pages. So just like Illustrator and Photoshop, the little plus box will add this, in this case, sheets. So if you look, you've got these little letters over here, A. So this is like a master page. So if you have in your report like chapter pages, so you have chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, but you want them all to look the same, like a color band in the same place, you can apply a master to those certain pages. So here's your master up here. We have master A at the moment. If you double click into it, let's just create a text box on the lower right. We can say master test, okay? Or whatever you want. Then you can go and check, and you can see. So anywhere that the A master is applied, you'll see master text right there. And you won't be able to edit it unless you edit in the master. So this is good for page numbers and, like I said, things that you want to look the same on certain pages. And you can have as many masters as you want, and it works great. All right. Okay, special characters. This is a good one. So I'm going to go back into the master page, and so when you do like sheet 1 of something or other like that, you can insert special characters. So, oops, I'm sorry. So if you go into, I believe it's type, and insert special character. So markers, you can do current page number, section markers, you can do a bunch of things, but typically use the current page number. And in the master, it'll look like A, but if you go into the actual document, you'll see it numbers the pages properly. Okay, so that is generally InDesign. I want to show you one more thing. I had open, but then I closed InDesign, so let me open it again. Reference. Yeah. That's a good question. I'm not sure. Are you in a text box? Are you in the A master? You want to share your screen real quick? Okay. So double click in the A master, like on the page. Yeah. Okay. Now go where you have master text and click in there. Okay. And now go to that may be it. Yeah. Yeah. And you actually don't have to. You're welcome. You don't have to be in the master page to do it, but you do have to be in the text box. So that's the master. So that's what's going to repeat on any page that has the little A on it. So it's just things that you want to repeat every page. So it could be like your master for your introduction chapter all says introduction and has one color, and that'll be your A. And then your second chapter may be, housing, and so that'll be a different color and say housing, and you'll apply master B to that. Yeah. You're welcome. Okay. I think I'm pretty... Oh, I want to show you one thing. Okay, and I'm not going to have you guys, like... I did it again. I shared Illustrator. Sorry. I'm not going to have you do, like, for your report template thing, I won't have you do this. It's super time-consuming, but I just wanted you to know that, like, this exists in InDesign. So... for my company, we've come up with character styles and paragraph styles, so that like when we write reports, it all looks the same. So let me see. Hello. So if you go to, there's character styles panel, and you can see like this is our. I just don't highlight it. This is our standard text, and then if we want it underlined, italicized, bold, like these are the only ones we're allowed to use in the office, kind of thing. And this is really good for a report, and you can share them over Creative Cloud, so everybody has them, and you're like, that's it, don't use any more. And then and I'll show you the paragraph styles. One thing that's really frustrating about InDesign is you can't tab and get like different bullets and things like that. You have to set up different styles. It's kind of a pain, but it's okay. You know, it is what it is. You can do all of it, but you have to set it up. So like you have different levels to set up. And that's how you get bulleted lists and numbered lists. You have to just like create your own. You can do like ABCD, really basic ones, but if you want any customization, you have to create your own paragraph styles. But it's okay. It's cool. So yeah, so that's InDesign. Any questions with that? No. Alright, so I'm going to do breakout groups, and I just want to go over, like, if anyone had trouble with the base maps, and any questions, and then that'll be it. Alright, so I will break you out into groups. Let me stop my share and the recording.